Now, if you're new to the channel, this is how I normally do these reviews. I go through all of the information that Cryptic has provided for us, a little bit of a background story, and then we're going to do customization, see how much customization we can do on this particular ship, mismatch some components if there are some. Now, I know that there are a couple of you guys that are really wanting to see a unique bridge. This ship has a really awesome, spacious bridge, to be honest, that has been featured in Star Trek on the TV show. But currently, this ship does not have a unique bridge. It's just the generic bridge or the bridge that you have unlocked through the Zen store. So I'm not going to do a bridge tour because there isn't one that is unique to this particular ship. After the customization, we're going to go into space, see how big this thing is in comparison with another ship, the Dorito Triangle. After that, I'm going to take it in combat, and hopefully I'm also going to showcase the unique trait that this ship comes with. But let's get things going.
Guys, just a heads up, my awesome channel now accepts channel subscriptions. As always, it's never a must. You can always enjoy the channel's content for free, but you could help my channel out a lot by getting a paid subscription. Link and info in the description. Now let's get back to the video.
And let me just open this thing and go here and see how much information Cryptic has provided us. Now, this is this particular ship, the Special Requisition Pack La Sirena Heavy Raider. Now, this is a Raider, so it comes with that Raider ability moving left or at least strafing left, right, forward, and backward. Keep that in mind. So this is definitely highly in maneuverability. So the La Sirena Heavy Raider is rather durable for a ship of its class. However, it is quite an agile or fast. Quite as agile or fast. This starship was originally intended to serve as a transport frigate, but has been meticulously maintained and heavily modified to be incredible versatile. The La Sirena Heavy Raider comes equipped with a fundamental field replicator universal console. Where activated, your starship will project holographic duplicates of itself in front of you. Each of these copies will lay down a weathering barrage of phaser cannon fire up to 3 targets. These photonic couples last over a limited time, and while they persist, they will attack with volley of beams, cannons, and torpedo fire. In addition, while this console effect persists, all of your bridge officer ability will recharge much more rapidly. This console also provides a passive boost to engineering readiness, science readiness, and tactical readiness. This console can be equipped in any starship. In any console slot, only one of these consoles may be equipped at any given time. The La Sirena comes equipped. La Sirena Heavy Raider comes equipped with the coordinated hull piercer experimental weapon. This weapon system is integrated into the ship's external hull projector. It has independent targeting and communication system designed to work with similar system aboard allied ships. The resulting beam is capable of firing coalescent kinetic energy on enemy vessels and can allow nearby allied vessels to coordinate fire for additional impact damage. Okay, that sounds really interesting to see. Hopefully we are going to showcase this only when this thing is going to fire. This weapon has a good chance of knocking one or more enemy subsystem offline with each hit, weathering from itself or from an ally coordinated attack. It may be upgraded like a standard weapon, swapped out for another experimental weapon, and placed into another starship experimental weapon slot. So you can definitely mismatch this particular weapon with any other ships that you might like. Pilot ships are highly agile craft designed to perform advanced maneuvers that can give a deadly edge in combat. Your starship can perform a sudden maneuver in each horizontal direction, like I mentioned earlier, so forward, backward, left, and right. Executing each maneuver rapidly reposition your starship while granting very brief damage immunity, but cost to a available thruster fuel, which takes several seconds to recover. Now, if we're going to be in space, there is going to be a bar that's basically our fuel, and whenever that bar is basically full, you can take advantage of this system. So moving, forward, backward, left, and right, they basically mentioned over here, and it's going to strafe your ship in that direction. Very nice. As a system that is basically bound to raiders, and I kind of like this a lot, because you can definitely, especially if you're like facing your enemy forwards, you can basically strafe backwards to engage your enemy again, basically, so you don't overshoot your target. Upon reaching level 5 in your last Sirena Heavy Raider Tier 6, you will unlock the Maintained or Regulation Starship trait. Maintain 2 Regulation Starship trait. While this trait is active, activating Captain abilities will remove 1 debuff from you and reduce the recharge time of all your Bridge Officer abilities by a small amount. Now, I'm going to say one thing. I find it really interesting that they are making so many consoles that lower the Bridge Officer ability, while there is a while you cannot go after a certain amount. So there is like a global cooldown of all of the abilities, and there are so many abilities, traits, consoles that lower the cooldown of your bridge abilities, but there is like a global cooldown that you cannot go below that. So that's very, very disturbing to me. Everything is lowering the abilities, but there is like a global cooldown that you cannot go below that. So it's kind of weird to me, but might just be me. So this is the statistics. So it is a tier 6 with faction 2. So Federation, Klingons, and Romulans can utilize these, or at least this particular ship. Also the Jem'Hadar, if you ally it with Klingons or with Federation, does not matter. You can have access to this thing. The only thing that is going to require is that you must complete the tutorial. This thing has a hull strength of 1.0 that is going to scale with levels. So that is basically they're saying, like, if you're going to use this particular ship on a lower level character, this hull strength is going to be scaled with your appropriate level. Shield modifier 1.05, 5 weapons on the front, 1 weapon on the aft, room for 3 devices. Console modification 5 tactical heavy, definitely. 2 engineering, so survivability not that much, and 4 science is definitely in you can definitely do a little bit of science DPS with this thing. I wouldn't recommend it because make use of 5 tacticals over here, but you can definitely utilize the 4 science slots. Base turn rate of 17 degrees per second. That is definitely standard, or at least it is definitely up there with Raider ships. Impulse modifier 0.23 with an inertia rating of 70. 15 to weapon power, and also +5 to engine power. This is basically the standard stuff. You're going to have, definitely a higher weapon power because you're going to deal out a lot of damage with this thing. And engine to maneuver. Tactical maneuvers. Tactical maneuver maneuvers. Okay. I don't know what they mean by this. Tactical maneuver maneuvers. Okay. Console universal, the fundament field projector. That is that is this thing right here that I talked about earlier. That is that universal console. Experimental weapon slot. So in addition to the 5 on the front and 1 on the aft, you're also going to get another one. So basically 6 on the front and 1 on the aft, or basically 5 on the front and 2 on the aft. But this experimental weapon slot is very nice to say the least, because it's going to give you a new piece of weapon. The coordinated hull piercer. This thing can load dual cannons, dual heavy cannons. Everything can be loaded on this thing. I would definitely recommend some kind of like narrow arc weaponry, because this thing is a raider, so maneuverability with this thing is not going to be a problem. So you can definitely point your ship towards the enemy real quickly. Improve radar flanking as well, so 33% damage when attacking an NPC's enemy's rear arc, and also plus 11% damage when attacking a player's enemy rear arc. This is a PvP basically. That is dead in STO. Sorry to say that. Starship Mastery package, you're going to get the Raider, so precise weapon system, tactical maneuvers. Oh, this is what they mean. Tactical maneuvers right here. Enhanced weapon systems, enhanced weapon banks, and maintained to regulations. That is the Starship trait. And the regulations right here has to do with the TV show where Rios, the captain of this particular ship in the TV show, was all about Starfleet and the way that he lived, or at least he held himself maintaining this ship while he was doing all of his ship stuff. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to make this one my current starship and go over there to this NPC where we're going to customize this particular ship and see what kind of customization we can do. So I'll be right back. Customization of this thing is going to be something that might interest a couple of you guys, because I heard you can actually customize everything, all of the templates of here, because these are basically just like templates right here. These pattern overlays. We only have one template from the ship. Basically, you have seen this. Sorry. Basically, I've seen this ship all over the place in Star Trek Picard, and definitely it looks like that. I can't zoom more than this because I'm interested in what they put up here at the bridge, because it kind of looks like they put up the some kind of glass on top of here, so we can look through it and here as well. Nice. You can see that it is definitely has features of a Federation design with these warp nacelles here at the end. Now, they did mention or hint that these warp nacelles could move around. I don't know what the deal is with these things, but if you look at kind of closely, you see the hull over here kind of matches these things up here. So these pylons up here, they kind of need to be like inverted up here or something like that when they just go up like that. But we'll see whenever season 2 comes out of Picard, whenever they're going to do something really interesting with this particular ship. Like I said, there is no ship bridge. This is just the standard stuff that you have unlocked that you can apply to your particular ship. Now, I am here at the triple testing server. That's why you don't see all of the Zen items that I have. So I only have like a couple of them to showcase, but I'm not going to change. I'm just going to cancel all of the changes that I made because I want to give you guys the out-of-the-box experience like I always do. This thing does not feature any windows on the testing server. I don't think that this actually has windows. I don't actually know what these things are, but they sure do not look like windows. And I don't even think that this thing has like escape pods or anything like that in that nature. If this thing is going to blow up, then it's just going to blow up. Material types, no material types at all. Alrighty, so this is going to be a very, very short customization part. Now I'm just picking something at the pattern overlays to give you an idea of what it is that you can customize, and I'm also going to give you something like this to make it menacing. Now let me choose some. Can I choose black on black? Ooh, okay, so there are a couple of things you cannot customize. I thought you could customize everything, but these colors that I just chose right here, black on black, kind of looks good on this thing. Now, the material types might actually be available on the holodeck server, but on the Tribble server, they are definitely not up here. So I might do like a follow-up video if I'm actually going to use this particular ship. But I really don't fly Raiders, so there is basically no point in doing this. Or at least maybe just for the trade. But then again, just, you know, having a trade that's going to cost me 1 billion, I don't know about that. Anyway, let me go into space and see how big or how small this ship is. I believe it is very, very tiny, but we will see that in 1 second. So the initial response of me seeing this ship for the first time in STO was like, okay, this ship is not that small. This ship is very good. Or at least that was the initial response when I was beaming out, or at least beaming into my ship up here in Earth Space Talk. Was like, okay, the camera wasn't pointed really far away. And I was like, okay, this is definitely a good looking ship, decent size and all that. And then I was like, let me zoom out and see how big or how small this thing is when you have the camera all the way zoomed out. And I was like, what is that? What the heck is that? Look at how tiny that thing is. If you compare it to the Dorito ship, it's like 1/4, 1/5 of the entire, like the size of this thing is like, what? Can you actually see this thing? Oh my God, look at how small it is. It's like, where is it? I'm losing track of my ship. Oh man, this is just hilariously small. I don't even think that the Delta Flyer is this small, or like the shuttlecrafts, or this has got to be like the smallest ship in STO that we have. This is just weird. I mean, all the way zoomed in is sure it is big. But if you zoom out, like I normally play with like my my camera all the way out so I can see a lot of things happening on my screen, so I can point my ship to the action or where it is. But with this ship, it's going to be like I'm losing control of my ship. I don't actually see this thing. This is so tiny. And I don't know if you guys watch these live stream or podcasts that Star Trek development team is actually doing. But in one of the videos, actually the person that was actually making this ship, or at least were in charge of getting this ship in STO, he actually said like I had to scale up the model. So in reality, this ship is actually smaller than this. It's like the Dorito ship right there, the Lucari ship, looks like it's a behemoth if you compare it to this thing. Oh man, I wish I had the universe class on my other characters so we can definitely see how big this thing is compared to that. Or at least how small this thing is compared to that. It's going to be ginormous. But anyway, we are here to do the review on this. So let me move out of the way from that particular character, and this is just too small. This is just very, 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 very tiny. Definitely true to like the Raiders. So if I am going to utilize these strafing maneuvers, so let's go left. So it does that, and it has like these jets, exhaust coming out of the sides and all that. And you can definitely utilize it again to the right, and as well forward and backward. So let me put this thing in a what was it, plus left. So this thing is going to turn on left left axis. So as we already saw, we got 5 weapons on the front: the normal, deflector, impulse, warp, and shield. We have one engine, or this one weapon slot for the aft. We have here that experimental weapon slot, the coordinated hull piercer. Now these are the statistics up here, doing X amount of kinetic damage each 0.5 seconds with 50% shield penetration for the next 4 seconds. Each hit from self or ally, 20% chance of one random subsystem offline for the next 4.3 seconds. So this is nice. This is definitely a nice 20% chance of disabling one subsystem from the enemy. So this can be yourself or any allies that are going to utilize this particular beam. After 2 seconds will cause one ally within 10 kilometers to stop attacking the target. The ally is basically going to get another target, so that's a big deal. And also kinetic damage, 0.5 seconds with 50% shield penetration for 2 seconds. Now I'm saying X amount because this thing is based up, or at least all of the statistics up there are based upon my character, and my character does not have any skills related to enhanced like kinetic based damage and all that. So this thing right here, projectile training, that's basically kinetic damage. So you have room for 3 devices, 2 for the engineering, 4 for science, and 5 for tactical. So that is that. So with the base stats, this thing is having 28.1 degrees per second in turn rate, with a flight speed of 21.83 with an inertia rating of 55. Starship Mastery, level 1, 5 in accuracy rating. Level 2 is going to give you the 5 in defense. Level 3, kinetic and energy based damage by 10%. Level 4 is going to increase your critical severity by 50%. And this is that unlockable Starship trait that is going to lower the recharge time of your bridge abilities, and also is going to remove one random debuff after you use your captain abilities. That's kind of nice, but I mean, there are also, like I mentioned earlier, there are so many traits, abilities, and skill that you can use for lowering your the bridge officer abilities. There are also like I believe gear that can also lower the bridge officer cooldown abilities to basically their global cooldown. So I don't really understand why they're putting up so many of these lowering of your bridge officer ability while there is like a minimum amount. If you lower it below that minimum amount, then I would say yes, give me a couple of other traits that I can mismatch and have a really really low bridge officer ability cooldown, and basically just spam my bridge officer abilities. But when there is a global cooldown, you cannot go below that. So why? But questions might be answered in the comic, or at least in the comment section over there. Nothing more to say up here. Let me give you some details on the universal console. Most modern Starship comes equipped with an enormous array of holographic projectors and can be designed to work with this piece of technology. When activated, the neurocotamic interface allows your Starship to project several independent holographic copies of La Sirena. They also made the mistake of the La Sirena. Isn't the too many these of here? I believe La is also a the, right? So the Sirena is written right here. Into nearby space that will aid in combat scenarios up to 30 seconds, assaulting nearby foes from multiple directions simultaneously. In addition, while this console effect persists, all of your bridge officer ability will recharge much more rapidly. So this is also a thing that is going to reduce your bridge officer abilities. So what is up with this? Weirdly, this console provides a passive boost to engineering readiness, science, tactical. This console may be equipped with any Starship in any console slots, and only one of these may equip within any given time. A reduction of plus 42 in tactical, science, and engineering readiness. The
Endeavor just kicked in. Photonic ambush. When activated, your starship will project holographic version of La Sirena starships in space near you. I wonder if this is the same ability as like photonic decoys that the Romulan have. I wonder if they've just, put a new coat on this particular skill, and basically have like the same outline in photonic decoys. But we will see that in when we're going to activate this thing. These photonic starship will lay down a weathering barrage of phaser fire, drawing aggro away from you and helping the fight in any way they can. In addition, while this console effect persists, all of your bridge officer ability will recharge more and more rapidly. 2-minute cooldown creates 9 photonic allies for the next 30 seconds. Each is equipped with phaser beam. They're going to have access to overload, fire at will, scatter volley, and lock trajectory, and also reduces ability to recharge by 1% for each second for the next 30 seconds. So at maximum 30 seconds, or at least 30%. Very nice, very nice, very nice. I'm looking forward to utilizing this. Whoa, I moved all the way here. This experimental weapon, does it say anything? No. This cutting beam is rendered by the ship's external holoprojectors, resulting in a coalescent beam of pure kinetic force. The resulting beam can rapidly penetrate shields and has a good chance of disabling subsystem with each hit. An integrated target system can be linked with nearby ally ships, allowing them to focus additional energy to the point of impact, amplifying the damage to the target enemy vessel. This could be interesting. Affect dead or alive foes? What? So this is also going to target dead foes? What? That's just weird. 10-kilometer range, 2-second cooldown, kinetic damage, 0.5 seconds with 50% shield pen. On each hit from self or ally, 20% chance to knock one subsystem online for the next 4.3 seconds. Just the normal stuff. There's nothing real interesting about this thing. Let me just move back to the location over here. What else can I show you guys that I have not showcased? The bridge officer ability, or at least the bridge officer layout. So we have a commander universal station. Oh, that's actually interesting. So this is a universal, so you can put up tactical, science, or engineering up there. Very nice. Another universal, so a lieutenant, this time lieutenant universal station up here, so you can utilize all 3 professions over there as well. Lieutenant commander universal and / intelligence station, so utilizing the intelligence a little bit more. Nice. And a commander tactical. Okay, so this is a fixed one, and this has the pilot abilities that you can utilize up here. Nice, not bad. I like that. So if you don't know the specializations, where are my? Here we go. I usually do like giveaways with the specialization. There are 5 in total, so you can retrain all of your bridge officers to have these specializations. So this one is in particular the pilot one, and this one is the intelligence station. So if you retrain your bridge officer with these qualifications, you can utilize then all of the skills and abilities. But first you need to purchase them, and then you can retrain your bridge officers. But it all starts with this thing. So I'm going to set up these bridge officers at random. No real thought is going to go into that, and then take this thing into combat. But first I need to grab myself the Admiralty card. So some of you actually
like the information for that, so I'll be right back. So last Sirena Heavy Raider, tier 6, 4 stars in its rarity. So we got 35 in engineering, 54 in tactical, and 37 in science with 18 hours in cooldown. The thing is going to ignore the tactical from the events with 18 hours in maintenance. So that's the tactical. No, that's the Admiralty card, so definitely tactical oriented, to be honest. And let me also give you guys a little bit of, or at least let me give you some ships that are equal, or at least in regards to the capabilities of this ship. Better, worse, with the same bridge officer layout. That have also the Raider package. Let me just put that up in your in the screen right here, because that's basically, or at least I find that interesting, if you're not going to be able to get this ship, because it is going to cost you 1 billion EC, and to be honest, I'm not really impressed of what I'm seeing for this particular ship. It only has like 4 bridge officer layouts, so that's, you know, in my opinion, lacking. But then again, this is Raider and Raider flanking, so definitely an increasement, 33% if you position your ship at the enemy's rear arc. But let me give you guys some alternatives. So when it comes to different alternatives for the La Sirena, or I should say La Sirena without the V, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of advices, and these are just my personal picks. I'm going to stay true, or at least I'm going to say in the same category, and that's going to be the Raider class. So the first one is going to be the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Heavy Raider. Now, this is also a tier 6 under the Raider class. The hull at level 65 is going to be 41,625 points. Now, obviously, if you're going to spec up your skills and skill tree abilities, all that, you're going to get a little bit more on that. This thing has a hull modifier of 0.9 with a shield modifier of 1.1. If you compare it with the La Sirena ship, La Sirena comes with a hull points of level 65, 45,000. So you are a little bit less hull hit points when you're going to get there. A hull modifier of 1 versus the hull modifier of 0.9, and also a shield modifier of 1.05 versus a shield modifier of 1.1. So you are getting a little bit more shields. With the Vanguard Heavy Raider, you're going to get less hull and also less hull points. But when it comes to turn rate, you're going to get plus 20 versus the La Sirena at 17. What else? Basically the same weapon layout. Or at least La Sirena has 5.1, and the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Raider has 4.2. So if you put an experimental weapon slot at the back, or a turret, basically 360-degree targeting, you're going to get the same weapon layout. The Jem'Hadar Vanguard carrier, or the Vanguard Raider, also comes equipped with an experimental weapon, so you're not going to lose anything up there. Console-wise, it is definitely the same. So you got 5 tactical, 2 engineering, and 4 science. The only real difference right here is that the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Raider is going to be a count unlock at 3,000 Zen. So something to think about. La Sirena is an R&D ship that is going to be costing you a lot of money, and it's going to be character bound. The Jem'Hadar Vanguard Heavy Raider is going to be unlocked for your entire account just by a 300 Zen. So basically the same ship, the same class. Definitely both of them are Raider. Fairly, similar statistics or higher turn rate. And the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Heavy Raider comes with 5 bridge officer slots, or bridge officer
Yeah, slots where you can slot in bridge officers, and the La Serena only has 4 of them, being 3 of them being universal, and the Jem'Hadar Vanguard Raider has 4 of them being universal. So something to think about when you're doing the comparison between these two, or at least making a choice between these two. So my next pick is going to be the Maquis Raider. This is going to cost you Lobai 900 Lobai if you want to have this particular ship. The Maquis Raider is going to have fairly similar statistics. It's going to get more hit points at level 65. The next similarity is going to be at the hull modifier. This thing is going to have 1.1, so an improvement over the La Serena. Man, I can't actually say that ship. The ship's name. Anyway, shield modifier is going to be a little bit lower, so 0.8, but the turning rate is going to be higher, so you're going to be able to dodge a lot of incoming, DPS from the enemy. What else? Better bonus power, so plus 15 to weapon, plus 5 to shields, plus 5 to engine, also plus 5 to auxiliary power versus at La Serena bonus power plus 15 to a weapon and also plus 5 to engine. So Maquis Raider, more bonus weapon power, a better, or at least I believe it is a better bridge officer layout than La Serena, because it can slot 4 bridge officers with, or at least 5 bridge officers, 4 of them being universal, and versus La Serena only has 3 universals. Basically the same weapon layout, 5 on the front, 1 at the aft, and a experimental weapon slot. Console modification on the Maquis Raider: 5 tactical, 3 engineering, 3 science, plus 1 universal science, or at least for 1 universal console. So you can definitely mismatch there. And La Serena only has 5 tactical, 2 engineering, and 4 science. And the Maquis Raider is going to cost you, like I said, 900 Lobai, but definitely an improvement statistically wise than La Serena. But that is basically a choice that you guys need to make. I'm just giving you guys a alternative. The last alternative that I'm going to give you is the Harold Baltrim Heavy Raider. Like I said, I'm going to stay in the class of Raiders. So the Heavy Raider, or the Baltrim Heavy Raider, comes with more hit points on hull when you're going to be at level 65. A slightly better hull modifier of at least 1.05 versus 1. Shield modifier a little bit less, 0.95 versus 0, or at least 1.05. Definitely improvement in hull rate versus La Serena. So the Harold Baltrim Heavy Raider has 21 turn rate, and La Serena only has 17. Bonus power basically the same, plus 15 to weapon power and also plus 5 to engine power. Both of them are the same. Bridge officer layout: the Harold Baltrim Heavy Raider has 5 of them being universal, 1 being tactical, and La Serena only has 3 universal with 1 fixed being the tactical. Weapon wise, basically the same, 5 on the front, 1 on the aft, and a experimental weapon slot. Console wise, the Baltrim Heavy Raider has a 5 tactical, 4 on the engineering and 2 science, versus La Serena 5 tactical, 2 engineering, and 4 science. So those are 3 of my picks that are alternatives. Staying true to the Raider class, my personal pick, if you're not going for La Serena, would be the Maquis Raider, because that one definitely has slighter statistic numbers, and in my opinion is just the better out of the two, and it's also going to cost you less and less resources, because this thing only requires 900 lobi. You can definitely take advantage when Cryptic is going to hold some kind of like low-buy sale or anything like that. Anyway, those are my alternatives. Let's get back to the normal video. As promised, I will show you guys the unlockable starship trait if you level this particular ship all the way to level 5. But I did level this particular ship all the way to level 5, but that trait is nowhere near to be found. So all of the traits are alphabetically ordered. So I have here make it so I'm at the M part, and I did go over the entire list like a bunch of times. The trait maintained to a regulation is currently not here. That might be a triple thing. This might work at the holodeck server, but as it is on the triple testing server, I can only show you guys what is here, and I don't have maintained to regulation anywhere here. But I don't think that there is going to be some kind of new visual to it, so it is what it is, and I can't actually show you this. But this is how I set up this particular build. Now, as you always know, this is not a build. Don't use this as a as a guide for for utilizing this particular ship. No real thought has gone to all of these components that I use up here. They do mismatch really good, but still I wouldn't use them if I were you. So I got these dual beam banks, the narrow arc, just because I have the bridge officer seating with beams. You can also use cannons and dual heavy cannons with this particular ship. Definitely interesting the way it flies. I put it omni at the back just to have like a 360-degree targeting arc, even though this is also nice, the coordinated hull piercer I've come to see. Even though right now it is a level less, you could definitely upgrade this to Epic 15 or at least Mark 15 Epic quality. I have not done so. For the bridge officer stations right here, I've actually gone with a science ability, because I definitely enjoy gravity well up here. Titan's Rift could be slotted out, but it is what I'm using currently. Survivability up here, then just beams and chemo right here. I'm also utilizing the pilot ability just to show you guys some pilot skills. I got form up and also fly her apart. And then for the intelligent bridge officer station, I'm actually using all of them. So transport warheads, override subsystem intelligence, override subsystem safeties, and intelligent team 1, just to show you guys a little bit of these unique intelligence bridge officer ability or skills. Now I am going to go with where is it? Patrol right here, wanted. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, click. Now I've set everything on keybinds, and everything is supposed to fire off whenever I'm going to use my button number 2 at random, or whenever the ability goes up. So a couple of things that I've learned when leveling this ship. This thing is definitely true to its name. It is definitely a raider. It is definitely doing what it's supposed to do, and that is killing one particular enemy real quickly. You can definitely set it up to fire at multiple enemies, and then the damage that you're going to do is going to be divided by the amount of enemies that this thing is going to hit. This particular unique console, as I said, this is definitely true to the what the Romulans use for photonic decoys. So it is spawning in a couple of basically clones of from your ship, and they're basically harassing all of the enemies. that are in the vicinity with, you know, beams and all that, torpedo spread and all that. So they can definitely take your aggro away from the enemy at that particular time. So let me activate it right away. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, click, and there they are. So I'm gonna go a little bit backwards. So they are basically harassing everybody up here, and they are, you know, killing them off. So it's basically warp decoys that they're using up here. Warp decoys, I believe, has like 5 clones of your ship or duplicates, and this is, I believe, they have 10 of them, and they go away like that. So maybe like 20 seconds or something like that, that this universal console is lasting. Getting back to combat, you guys are going to see that this thing is definitely doing what it should do, killing off the enemy real quickly. Now, I by far have not gotten the best build up here, mismatching components like I said previously, but it is doing what it is doing. Definitely utilizing the pilot special ability, the Raider, strafing backward, forward, left and right. Now let me just show you guys that also it goes forward. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. There, it just strafed in like a couple of light years. Narrow arc, utilizing that to its full capability. It is maneuvering real quickly, so your enemies are definitely going to miss whenever you are going to hit them, or at least you're going to be able to dodge a lot more damage because you are really small and nimble. What else can I say? Let me also take everything out of auto fire so I can show you only this particular universal what's it called again? The universal, or at least not the universal, the experimental weapons, the coordinated hull piercer. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, and then click. And basically that enemy is hitting this guy. Here we go again, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm hitting him, and he's hitting him as well. So we are basically coordinating attacks. Now I am hitting him, and he's hitting him with the same beam like. Here we go again. I'm hitting him, and then he's hitting them. So it basically coordinates your attacks. Now I do want to see if it also does it with these pets. Now I can basically let me do her, because they have a lot of them. Okay, there we go. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, click. Let's see, I'm hitting him, and then they are hitting him. And those are just the normal weapons that they hit him with, because this is a sustained beam, so that one is hitting him. Yeah, and there, that one hits him. So the experimental weapon slot only fires with one ally that is coordinating, that you are coordinating to. For the rest, I would say, I don't know if this ship is worth 1 billion R&D. It's basically, let me move out of combat. It's, for me personally, I don't think that this is worth 1 billion, or the amount of Zen that you need to put in it just to obtain it, because the luck factor of you actually obtaining one of these things is really low. But then again, you might get lucky and might win one of them. But I would say not really up to it. Obviously, I'm not an expert in builds and ship-wise. This is just mainly because of the way that this ship actually is being displayed in STO, as it is featured in Star Trek Picard. If you are into that, like, hey, I want all of the ships from the TV shows and all that, this is definitely something that you might want to have. In terms of playability in Star Trek Online, DPS wise, definitely true to its to its name. It is definitely a raider, and it's definitely highly maneuverability and all that good stuff, and it's killing off the enemy really quickly, and it can definitely utilize the pilot abilities and definitely utilize the raider flanking in 33% when you attack the enemy's rear arc. For the rest, survivability, not that much, to be honest, even though I'm not taking a lot of aggro because I'm not doing enough DPS to really take this particular ship to its full potential. But I should say science is definitely something that you can do with this particular ship. The only thing that I'm really not up to, not really happy about with is the bridge officer layout. But then again, they are giving you a lot of universal bridge officers, so they're basically giving you 3 universal bridge officers that you can utilize to its full potential, and only one that is locked, and this one is the tactical. So definitely versatile, don't get me wrong right here. Usually you have like 5 bridge officer seating, because right now you are definitely losing 1 bridge officer trait ability. Now all of these bridge officers, let me give you guys an example. So I got Kaiten and Karas over here. Now these also come with their own traits and passive abilities. So if you have 4 of them instead of 5, you're basically, this particular guy is you are losing these statistics because you only have 4 of them instead of 5. So that is something to think about. You are losing a passive ability because you cannot slot more of these bridge officers in here. So that's my pet peeve with this particular ship. In terms of abilities, the normal amount of abilities are up here, so you can definitely utilize them to its full potential. Now I got beta 3 over here that I'm utilizing, definitely interesting. And I also the real deal right here should be like, I don't know, gravity well 3 maybe, or something like that, to utilize science in its full capabilities. But you can also go tactical up here. That's why it is this particular ship is a universal station, and utilize science, tactical, or engineering to its full capabilities, because like I said, universals. That's it for this particular video. Do I recommend this ship? Yes, if you have lots of money. This ship is definitely fun to fly around. If you really want to obtain it and you're going to put all of your resources that you have in this, just to obtain this particular ship, I should say it's not worth it. But that is my opinion, and only my opinion. I'm not a DPS oriented person. I really don't care about DPS, but I really care about, how I actually feel when I'm going to fly this particular ship. And my, just because I'm not going to be able to see it when I'm going to fly or play Star Trek Online, because I usually zoom out all the way. I can't actually see. It's basically like maybe 4 dots in my monitor. So it's like, I really don't understand why this thing is so tiny, so small. But that is my opinion, as always. Anyway, that's it for this review. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of fun and entertainment information coming out of my channel. Would love to see you guys on the next one. Take care and later.